Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on when or where you're watching this from, and welcome to episode 117 of the Digimon... No. Well, kind of is a Digimon podcast at this stage, but welcome to episode 117 of the Code Crown podcast. I'm not doing a retake on this because it's taken me a while to get this all set up. I'm behind schedule. I have a stream to do later. I'm busy AF, and I don't even know if I'm going to make the stream that I'm going to have to do later. But by the time you're watching this, you'll know whether it's gone live or not. I hope. I'm not going to shill. Options are there, but I'm not going to shill. You can come follow or you can't. It's up to you. No pressure. But since we're off to a ramshackle start already, we have a... I'm just going to jump into it. We have a lot of information to get through. I'm very excited to go through it. The idea of a new Digimon show that isn't Adventure 2020 is filling my heart with rainbows, if I'm being quite honest. So I'm very happy to be talking about this. I have some questions about character design. I don't think it's going to be anything overtly bad or over the top, but we'll get there because we have changes in character designs, we have a plot teaser, we have cast updates, and by the time you're watching this, we'll actually have a trailer, and I'm going to react to the trailer. That's going to be after the news segment, so that's why it's just a regular episode of the podcast and we're not going live, because the trailer won't air until after tonight's episode of Adventure 2020, episode 65, which we will be doing a live reaction to tomorrow. But I just want to, make sure you're as informed as can be. And as always, our information comes from With the Will, a fantastic Digimon community there, a fantastic Digimon resource. Huge props to With the Will, to Wikimon, to anyone that who has provided this information for me to talk about and give an opinion on, and really just be a sort of a talking head, for lack of a better term. So, with that in mind, we finally get into things, and let's talk about the plot teaser, because we are under a month to go. Ghost Game is going to air October 3rd, so that is the weekend before my move. Which is good, because we can do our episode 1 reactions as normal, and then the weekend of the move, I really sort of have to look at what's coming in that respect. So, but anyway, the official site updated with a ton of information. We got a new key art poster, which you can see behind me here, but we'll bring it up here and we'll take a better look at it. So here is the new poster for Ghost Game, and there's a very particular reason why it's on this side of the screen and it's not blown up and such. We will get to there, but we can see the trio of characters. We do have Hiro at the front, we have Ruri behind him, and we have Kyoshiro. Yeah, that's still going to take a while to get used to saying. It doesn't feel right saying Kyoshiro. Just his surname is worse, but we'll get there. I'm going to struggle with this name anyway. And of course we have Gamamon, and I really do like the green, red, and blue shadows or streaks coming out from under Gamamon, because it's RGB. It's, I like it. It's a technology thing. If you get it, you get it, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. We have Angoramon there behind Ruri, and then we have Jellymon kicking the baddies away, I guess. And we have a very scared looking or panicked looking Kyoshiro at the very back there, and a very looming, menacing threat at the back there. It's giving me Cherubimon vibes, but I don't think we're going to go there again. I hope not, because there's a lot of familiar arms. You can see all those arms reaching toward our cast, and there's a lot there. So somebody on Twitter who I don't have their tweet in front of me still, so I will make sure they're credited in the edited version of this, but like, fair play to them. This is like the this is like the largest game of Who's That Pokemon, or Who's That Digimon, I should say, I think we've ever had. So here's a much larger look at the poster or the key art, and you can see like we have Marine Devimon, we have Keramon, we have I don't think that's I think that's Triceramon. Right, we have Devidramon, Gardramon, Mechanorimon, Sukamon. I'm not sure who that is, but Okuamon, Andromon. Like that might be Korikakumon. I know, I actually think he's more down. He's more down towards the end here. But you can see just all Mojamon, Evilmon, or Vilemon if you prefer. Don't know why you would, but I don't know. Vilemon's actually a fun name. I'm not being a dub hater here. We get Devimon, Parrotmon. There's Kokabuterimon, Mummymon. Now Mummymon actually does get it mentioned kind of in the plot preview, so I'm looking forward to just going through that. Then we have Dark Tyrannomon, we have Clockmon, there's Tuskmon, Saberleomon, Ogremon, Vegemon. God, I can't think of who this metal hand is. Then we have Diablomon, Red Vegemon, Deltamon, or a Metal Tyrannomon, one or the other. I think it's Metal Tyrannomon rather than Deltamon. Why am I thinking Deltamon? Is he further up? Anyway, yeah, it's Metal Tyrannomon. Then we have Vademon. Then we have Ebby. God, I always struggle with its name. The Knots. No, it is. Wait, no, hold on. Is that? It is. It's Ebby something. Anyway. Golemon, Pumpmon, Gessomon, Boltmon, and then we're back to Marine Devimon. So there's a lot of familiar hands reaching out, and I think these are going to form the basis of what we go for. There's a couple of arms that I think aren't accounted for. Some of the ones in pink might just be a bit too confusing. That could be, I don't know, that could be Birdramon or Saberdramon for all we know. This one here under between Clockmon and Mummymon, that could be Saberdramon or Birdramon for all we know. And the one between Gessomon and Golemon, I'm not actually sure. Looks like it could be a Kabuterimon claw, but I don't know how sure I am on that, considering Okuamon is sort of represented up here already. So there's a few of them in pink, as you can see, that just haven't been quite identified yet, but a lot of familiar hands. Nothing really seems to be new. The only real new Digimon on screen are Gamamon, Angoramon, Jellymon, and then this looming presence in the background. But fair play to the fan who went through a bunch of pictures and, you know, tried to put all this together. That is top-notch fandom right there, and I'd say it took a lot of time and energy, so I will make sure they're credited in the edited version of this. So moving on, speaking of updated character designs, so we have the original poster, and now I want you to look at the old one we got. So you can see already the characters look younger. They definitely look younger, and there's something almost Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s about them, I think. Maybe I'm reaching. Maybe someone will think maybe I'm stretching the truth on that one, and maybe I am, but there is just something about them that I wasn't like, character designs change all the time. Like in Savers, when we first seen Koki, Nanami, and Ivan, their character designs were pretty much set, but they had completely different color schemes to what we ended up getting in the show. When I'm not sure, I'm not 100% on Greymon, but I remember when Omega Shoutmon first showed up in like a magazine, he was completely red. He wasn't golden like we got, later on. I think Greymon might have actually just been completely blue. So I appreciate the character designs do change over time, and these ones are more fluid looking for an anime, where what we got with the older designs, or the beta designs, I guess, may have been more suited to a manga. But I don't know, maybe I don't know if I feel like maybe they went too young with the new version of the cast. But it's definitely a differences that stand out. Now, Hero's design basically stayed the same. He got different shoes, and his his shirt became a school blazer, and that's the thing here. Like, they do seem to be in uniform. Like, Ruri went from this very casual outfit to a school uniform, but she also looks like she got de-aged about 6 years. Um, Kyoshiro in the background, a much more drastic design to the more confident look we had before. Now, his design already did sort of go through something of a change when we got new art of his hand, his right hand being bandaged. It was still using the old art, and you can see that's carried over to the new art. His hand there is bandaged, his right hand. But he also got a name change. Right, so when we went through Ghost Story information, or Ghost Story, Jesus, now there's an anime. When we went through Ghost Game information before, he was known as, let me just get these posters down so you can see the artwork I'm talking about. So this character was known as Seishiro, but he's actually been renamed to Kyoshiro. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to take me a while to get used to, because even his surname is like, it's I think his surname is stupidly long as well. So getting used to saying his full name is going to be not a challenge, but it's going to take some getting used to, because Japanese is not my native language, obviously. Naruhodone. But I don't know, he has this sort of sassy look to him in his original art, and now his facial features look more cat-like. I don't know if it's his mouth, but there's just something that looks very cat-like about him. And I think in the eyes as well, he's changed. But it's interesting, like, because they still look like the same characters, right? Nothing has really changed in that regard. They still look like the same characters. But even if we take Seishiro and Kyoshiro down, and we have a look at Ruri's original design compared to what her final design is, again, we have this much more casual outfit. I would say the age range for the original character designs is probably more 14 to 16-ish, where the new character designs look more 11 to 13-ish. Which, you know, which is a thing Digimon has always done. But I did kind of, as someone who loves Savers, and Savers is their favorite show, I kind of did appreciate the older character designs, especially considering, let me just take the two versions of Ruri down, and I just bring up the two versions of Hero, or bring them up. Especially since this is a show where the hero, pardon the pun, well, pun is intended in this case, for a show where the hero doesn't have goggles, I kind of appreciated the older aesthetic, or the older look to the initial character designs that we were shown. Them being toned down or de-aged a bit, I mean, look, it's not going to stop me watching the show. Digimon has always focused on younger, is always focused on children and potential and etc, etc. That doesn't change anything. I just preferred the aesthetic of the older designs, so it is what it is. So it's not a gripe or a grievance or anything. I don't think the show is going to be bad. I actually think that when we actually finally get to talking about the plot synopsis, I actually think it's going to be very fun. I just prefer the original aesthetic, and I get it. Things change in production all the time, and it's just one of those things. So then, speaking of the synopsis, let's get to it. So I'll just bring that poster back up. Oh, what did I move there? Oh, yeah, you don't need to. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong thing in OBS and tried to move it across the screen. So let's just bring the poster there so we have a look at the characters as we talk about the plot teaser. So, the story takes place a bit into the future, where a new technology has been developed. On social networking sites, there circulate rumors of mysterious phenomenon of unknown origin called hologram ghosts. Okay, I'm already digging this. I'm already kind of digging this. first year junior high school student Hiro Amanokawa activates a mysterious device left by his father, known as a Digivice. And we know already that the Digivice for this show is going to be the Vital Bracelet. Albeit his is going to be dark blue, which is also an interesting change, because usually our heroes get red or orange as their primary color. Like Taichi's primary color was orange. Daisuke's was blue, actually. We haven't had a blue Digivice wielder since Daisuke. Interesting. But generally, we get red or orange. What? Taichi, Takato, Takuya, Masaru, Taiki, Hageru, for whatever reason. Oh yeah, merchandise sales. You don't have to make a brand new Digivice if your new main character has the same color. Tageru, Haru, and yeah. So, and Taichi reboot as well, I suppose. Orange is still the primary color there. Hero also bucks the trend. Every hero, every Digimon hero, generally starts with an A, so you get ta, da, ha, ma, as the first syllable. Hero just says, nah, I'm not going to wear goggles, and I'm going to book your naming convention. I'm going to book the trend on your naming convention as well. So, I don't know if that was a conscious decision. I'd be very interested in knowing if that was a conscious decision or not, but it may have just been, he's the hero of the show, let's give him a punny name. I don't think they were really thinking about it. With Masaru, though, it was a conscious effort not to give him goggles, in the idea of aging up the show, or showing that it's branched off and this is Digimon Reborn and some nonsense in that regard. But I don't know if the naming convention is a conscious. So I guess what I'm getting at is, I see the goggles being a conscious decision in this. Maybe he'll get some later. I kind of hope he gets some later, because one thing about Savers was everyone was thinking, oh yeah, Masaru will just get them later. And then mid-show, everybody gets a wardrobe change, and Masaru still isn't wearing goggles. And then the character of Koki turned up, who was basically just meant to be, dark Masaru, for lack of a better term. And everyone thought, wouldn't it be cool if he wore goggles as sort of as sort of to invert the trope a little bit, because he is a leader of his own group of, not Digidestined, but so he is the leader of his group. So Koki having goggles would have been really fun, but again, just goggles were nowhere to be seen. So I kind of hope Hero does get some later on. But I guess Hero and Masaru then can set up their own club of no goggles needed, or something. I don't know. But anyway, so first year junior high school student Hiro Amanakawa activates a mysterious Digivice left by his father, known as a Digivice. When activated, he can see unknown creatures that ordinary people cannot see. Digimon. Ooh. So, from that day, he meets the Digimon Gamamon, entrusted to him by his father. Hiro gets caught up in all kinds of bizarre phenomenon, such as the mouth-stitching man who steals human time. So that would be Clockmon, right? Because Clockmon... Some Clockmon designs are shown that it's just the clock, but other designs have the dude who sits in the clock with the big hammer, and its mouth is all stitched, right? And a mummy man who wanders around at night and kidnaps people. So that would be Mummymon, and I did allude to, he does get mentioned in this when we were going through the arms on the poster. So that's cool. So Clockmon's arm can be seen, and Mummymon's arm can be seen. I don't know if this is going to be universal, where all the arms we see on the poster are going to be villains of the week. I hope not. I don't want it to be that predictable. Like, okay, let's go counterclockwise and see who's going to turn up next week. Or the identification thing that I showed you guys earlier on becoming a checklist of, okay, who's left. it's not a bad idea. It's just not something I like personally. But anyway, so hologram ghosts are right next to us, and they're out to get us. From here on out comes a story of the other side of the world that no one knew. Together with Gamamon and his friends, Hiro steps into the mysterious world where Digimon live. And I like it. I mean, we've had Digimon represented as various different things over a different season, you know, be they computer programs, rogue AI, apps that live on our phones. You know, ghosts is nothing new. It's well, it is new, but it's nothing out of the ordinary compared to what the show has done before. It's nothing life-changing. It's nothing franchise-shattering. And franchise shattering, though, I do worry about on a meta level, because I don't want people to disregard this before it even starts, because, well, you know, it's not Taichi & Co. anymore, because my grievances aside, and some of your grievances aside, as a viewer, there is a much larger and louder contingent of fans that, well, you know, when it's not Taichi and Sora and the rest of them, it's not Digimon. So I'm not going to watch this. And I'm afraid that the show will the franchise will sort of go back into niche obscurity. I really hope that doesn't happen. I really hope, for all my gripes with Adventure 2020, I hope it has brought in a new audience that will latch on to the new show and keep it going. You know, one of the greatest things I ever thought about Digimon anime was that it didn't recycle the same cast for 20 years. Every new show, you got a new cast. And kind of like Sentai, you just cycle in and out, you know, old characters for new characters. But there is a contingent out there that if it's not the adventure cast, it's not Digimon. And I really hope Ghost Game doesn't suffer for that. I really do. Because that plot sounds fun. I like this idea of, you know, I like this idea of Digimon being ghosts and they're actually out to get you and they're actually causing problems. That sounds like a lot of fun, and it sounds like it's going to be a breath of fresh air compared to what we've been getting for the last 65 weeks. So I know it's a little more than that because there was the hiatus because of the C virus, but you know, basically 65 weeks. That's including this upcoming episode. So this is a breath of fresh air. This actually sounds really fun, and I really hope they have some creative ideas to go along with it. So moving on then to I've shown off the animation designs, right? So we have our where is my mouse? We have our new versions of Hiro. Actually, let me poster down. We have our new version of Hiro. We have our new version of Ruri. Sorry, OBS is just being really finicky about what I grab. And then we have our new version of Seiichiro renamed as Kyoshiro. But their partners haven't changed, so we still have Gamamon, who is still great. We still have Gamamon. We still have Angoramon. And now he's going to be a big boy. Maybe we'll make him bigger and we'll shift Ruri. Yeah, that'll be fun. So we still have Angoramon. And then for Kyoshiro, we still have Jellymon. And Kyoshiro can... Cool. So it looks, you know, they line up somewhat normally. Gamamon. There we go. And Jellymon, I don't know if she'll be able to float or fly or whatever, but we'll put her down. I didn't want to put her down here because it cuts off the tentacles, but But yeah, so that's our cast. And so Hiro Amanakawa will be played by Matsumi Tamura, known to Digimon fans as Koshiro in Tri and Kizuna. That's awesome. A first-year junior high student at private school Hazakura Academy. 13 years old, he is a level-headed boy who handles most things on his own, with others often relying on him. So maybe a Taiki type? Maybe a more grounded version of Taiki, because Taiki, was kind of that idea, but very brash about it, I suppose, in a way, where others would rely on him, and his catchphrase was, "Oh, I can't turn my back on them." So maybe a more grounded version of Taiki is what we're looking at here. But he never turns down a request. Oh god, no, he is just Taiki. Oh no, he is just level-headed Taiki. Okay. He has a highly inquisitive mind and takes an interest in Digimon after meeting Gamamon. Okay. Gamamon, played by Miyuki Sawashiro, known to Digimon fans as Mirai from various games, that's interesting, and Yuma in the Digimon Savers video game Another Mission. Gamamon is a Digimon who came to Hiro through his father Hokuto. He is very curious and has a tendency to try and bite everything. Oh god, he is just a baby. He's mischievous but listens to his friends. His favorite food is chocolate, which he calls the strongest. Now, I've seen another interpretation of this on Twitter, and I think it's much cuter, where his favorite things are chocolate and being told he's the strongest, and I think that's adorable. I think that's quite relatable to a lot of people as well, and it does just make him, he's just a baby, and that's kind of adorable. It's sort of a Guilmon-y innocence to him, which is nice. We haven't seen something like that in a while, so a Guilmon innocence to Gamamon, I think, is going to be really cute, if my interpretation of what we're reading here is anything to go by. So then Ruri Tsukiyono, played by Yu Kobayashi, who played Makoto in Hunters, but is probably best known as Sasha from Attack on Titans, Ayame in Gintama, Setsuna in Negima, and many other roles. Yeah, Yu Kobayashi is a name I sort of go, oh, you got her. Like, she's in everything. Like, she's one of these actors where you're just like, what haven't you been in at this stage? So Ruri is a 13-year-old first-year junior high student at an integrated junior high and high school for girls. She runs an immensely popular social media account called Riru Run. So R-I or U-N. Riru Run. She is sociable and has many friends. She is looking for what fits her best and wants to be involved in everything. Angoramon. So Ruri, I like the idea of Ruri just being this social butterfly. It's gonna lead to I think it's gonna lead to some of that. Oh, my friends need me, I need to disappear for mysterious reasons kind of tropes. I think it's gonna lead to a bit of that, but even her old artwork, kind of, when you read that character description, even her old artwork kind of ran with that, because you can see the cell phone in her hand, right? So if she's running a social media site, it would make sense that she's always on her phone or she's always doing things, and that's a very that original outfit as well is very sociable. It's very get up and go. But yeah, look, I'm not going to harp on the original aesthetic, but and that's not what I'm doing here. I suppose the point I'm making is that the character traits seem to have been leveled down very early, and as early as the original designs, you can sort of now see what they were going for. Even Hiro's original design, let me get Ruri's off the screen there, is very actiony. It's very protagonisty with the hoodie and the shirt and everything. So yeah, it all checks out. And then Angoramon, played by Kazuya Nakai, known to Digimon fans as Gaomon in Savers. Yes, Master. Okay. I don't think we're going to be hearing that from Angoramon, but nice to see. Nice to see a returning voice actor to the show as ever. A large Digimon who uses his long ears to fly slowly in the sky. Oh god, is he just like is he like Tails? Is he just a big Yeti rabbit version of Tails from Sonic, using his ears to fly? Obviously, instead of his tails, that'd be weird. But you get what I'm going for. I feel it was silly that I have to clarify it, but I always feel like there's going to be somebody in the comment section who goes, "Well, actually," it's kind of mitigating that while I can. Anyway, he has a keen sense of hearing and can distinguish distant noises. He is always calm and has a mature personality. He knows a lot about the digital world. He likes to listen to Rory play the piano. That's really sweet. And Rory plays the piano is something that we've learned from this, so that's neat. Cool. I don't know. He sounds pretty fun. I kind of want him to be like this Big the Cat kind of character. But he sounds like, but you know, he's mature, so he's a bit more grown up than our childish trying to bite everything Gamamon. So I think the interactions between the two are, you know, have some good comedic potential, if nothing else. So moving on again, then we have Kyoshiro. Oh my god. Okay, I'm probably gonna butcher this. So instead of Seichiro, we have Kyoshiro Higashimitarai. Higashimitarai? I'm probably butchering that, but geez, I'm never going to remember that for the life of me. Anyway, but he's played by Akira Ishida, who would be known to Digimon fans as Wizardmon from Adventure and Zero Two, and any roles he's reprised in that. In that role. 14 years old and in 8th grade. Wow. Head of the boys' student dormitory at Hazakura Academy. He's a genius who skipped grades and graduated from grad school in the US, but for some reason is now living a student life in Japan. While he normally speaks with a condescending and arrogant attitude, he is actually quite a coward. But once his switch is flipped... ... question mark. Oh, and then there's a note to say we had... Oh, so maybe Seichiro came from With the Will. I was using their article when we were talking about this before as well. So, but they say we had previously translated his name as Seichiro in prior articles. So Seichiro may have been a translation, and his name was always Kyoshiro. Okay, fair enough. I as you can tell, I didn't pre-read these. I kind of wanted to react to them as I'm talking to you guys. Cool. So Jellymon is played by Yu Shimamura, known to Digimon fans as Offmon from Appmon. Oh, like the most adorable Appmon. Okay. For those watching Appmon who haven't got to Offmon yet, I won't spoil anything, but all I'll say is you're in for a treat. Brilliant. But Jellymon, a soft-bodied Digimon with a jelly-like head. She can easily slip through the ground and walls. She is strong-willed like a queen and hates to lose. She finds human activities amusing and tries to participate in them as if they were a game. She likes to scare Kyoshiro. So she's just an absolute troll, is what I'm getting here. She's just an absolute troll of a partner. That's great, because I'm remiss to think of when we've had that sort of partner who would just go out of their way to be like, you humans amuse me, bow to your queen. Also, I'm going to troll the crap out of my partner here. Bear with me, he's a bit of a scaredy cat. I don't know if we've had anyone like that in in the anime before. Maybe we've had. Maybe there's been someone in the manga. I'm in like the manga stories that I'm forgetting, but I don't think, as far as the anime stories go, we've had a partner quite like that. Um, so that's fun. I think Jellymon's going to be a very amusing character, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing what the banter between Jellymon and Kyoshiro is, obviously, but then, um, you know, how the three human characters interact with each other, especially if Rory is attending a completely different school from the other two, and then what the interactions are between the three partner Digimon. Like, would Angoramon try and, stop Jellymon from, trolling Kyoshiro too much, or would he be the voice of reason in the situation because he's meant to be the more mature of the three? It's certainly it's I'm really looking forward to learning more about these characters and their dynamics. Um, I think we're in for a bit of fun with this show, and I'm really looking forward to October 3rd. So along with these new sets of artwork, some artwork was released of some facial expressions for the three. So we have Heroes like shocked, looking very smug and kind of annoyed faces. We got one for Rory, which they are adorable. I can't say they're not. They are adorable. So maybe happy, kind of annoyed, and then very quizzical looking. I can't get over Hero's smug expression in the middle there. That I enjoy the smug look. I do. Because it's so different from a main character. Like, it reminds me kind of like in Cross Wars when Shoutmon first learned to evolve, right? And they went back to the digital world. And he's trying to explain that, no, I can evolve, guys. And nobody's believing. He's like, Digimon don't evolve, instantly. Because the whole thing is, no, I've learned how to evolve instantly. Because in the Cross Wars universe, evolution happens over time. But they're like, no, stop lying. Shoutmon, you're telling tall tales again. You stop. Just stop. And then it happens. And he's able to show off this super evolution. And like, everyone's like, oh my god, evolution. And Taiki's just there, arms folded, head nodding. The smuggest look I have seen on any Digimon protagonist face. And it's such a glorious moment, and I'm really hoping that this middle head on Hero is something that doesn't come up often, but when it does, it's like, yeah, you tell him, Hero. And then we get the heads for Kyoshi, and for the one that's labeled as a scary cat, I'm kind of surprised that we don't get his scaredy cat facial reaction. Maybe it'll be played for comic effect in the show. Like the Joey Wheeler or Katsuya Jonochi, like the chin. Maybe it'll be done for that. And maybe it'll just be super expressive. But we do see, like, even on this first one here, he does maintain those sort of cat eyes and mouth. But then in his middle one has him looking almost sinister. I don't think he's going to be... He might be antagonistic to Hero because they're in the same school, but we do know that, like, it does, like, his character description does say he normally speaks with a condescending and arrogant attitude. So that might just be that coming through here in the middle, and then just sort of that's his smug look on the third one here. Either way, the show is going to be very expressive, which I think is just going to be very fun. Again, I can't talk enough about how excited I am to see how all this plays out. So, just going to take the elements off the screen here. There we go. So that's kind of all we have for the moment. There's some comments from the cast, which have, again, thanks to With the Will and Onke for the translations here. Matsumi Tomura says, I'm happy to be involved with a Digimon series once again. I have the impression that Hiro is a rather normal kid, serious-minded, thoughtful, and a studious student. While he seems to be rather inquisitive, I'm still trying to figure out what sort of kid he is as I go about the recording. Which is good, because the character is learning, because the voice actress is learning. And if they're learning, we're learning. So we'll see different interpretations on how they'll react to situations as the show goes on. And yeah, that's fun. I look forward to seeing all sides of him in the future. This series combines Digimon with the bizarre, so I sense that it will have a different feel from all of the works before it, and I hope you all enjoy. And that's certainly the impression I'm getting as well. Miyuki Sawashiro says, I'm Miyuki Sawashiro, who gets to be with Gamamon, a very energetic Digimon who, apparently, loves chocolate. I'm recording now with the stance that Gamamon comes to see you, watching across the screen with every week with super hyper cheerfulness. Aww. So, he's recording with the idea that Gamamon is coming to see us, the viewer, and he's going to be super hyper and cheerful. You know, to endear Gamamon to us. That's really sweet. That's really sweet. Miyuki goes on to say, the ghost game words in the title are bigger than Digimon. I'm sure the story will just be a little bit scary too. The rumor is that it'll be even scarier than Gegege no Kitaro. That can't be right. Right? That can't be, right? Please watch to find out for yourself. I like this. They like the positivity that the actors are showing for it. Is very promising. Right. Yu Kobayashi then. I'm very grateful to be involved with Digimon Ghost Game, the latest addition to the long and historic Digimon series timeline that is loved by many fans. I'm both grateful and excitedly anxious to play the heroine, Ruri Tsukiyono-san. I hope to move forward one step at a time with Ruri-san. This is a series that can be enjoyed by men and women of all ages. Please look forward to a story of everyone's growth. I hope you enjoy it. Seems a bit pure release of a statement, doesn't it? Is that just me? It seems very my agent said to say this. I hope that's not the case, and I maybe that's just she's reserved as a human. That's just but just after the previous two statements where it's like super hypeful cheerfulness and oh god, I don't even know who this character is yet. I'm going to be learning with you guys. It's a bit mute. No. Mute. Yeah, muted. It's a bit more of a muted reaction. That might just be Miss Kobayashi as a person. I'm hoping it's not a PR statement. I really hope it's not. Kazuya Nakai says, I'm really happy to be part of Digimon once more, after more than a decade. Thank you. Angoramon is big and fluffy, but I can see intelligence in his eyes. It'll be fine. I'm sure we can understand each other. I think the two of us can get along. Because it has ghost in the title, that would mean it's a scary story? I'm nervous. I'd like to overcome both the scary and the non-scary elements while enjoying myself with everyone who watches. Please come along for the ride. That's endearing. That's endearing. Akira Ishida says, as the recording has just started, I only have a small glimpse of what sort of role he has. But already from the name, Kyoshiro Higashimatare, it has 7 kanji characters. Given that he's already being teased in this way with an outlandish name, I anticipate episodes in the future that put focus on troublesome aspects of his personality. As the title Ghost Game implies, this series combines Digimon with spiritual phenomena. I think you'll find it a bit thrilling. Please look forward to it. Brilliant. Okay, like so even the voice actor is like, Christ, his name is so long. They're just like, even the voice actor is like, they're just mocking us here, right? It's, you know, it's done to make fun of the character and make jokes at his expense. It is getting dark here. I haven't moved since I started recording, so a little light. Too bright. Too bright. Yeah, it's a little better. I probably should have just put the skylight on, but oh well. Actually, what if I... Oh no. Oh, that's much. Yeah, that's better. I just pump it up a little bit. I'll just set it back here. Makes me look all shiny. I am not this shiny. I promise you. I'm not like an alien or a holographic ghost. Yeah, screw it. Okay. No, because in the... Yeah, we just have to go with that. Anyway. So... Then Yu Shimamura, who's playing Jellymon, says, I have always loved watching jellyfish at aquariums, and I dreamed of owning one as a pet someday. I never thought I would become a jellyfish before actually having one. I'm so happy. That's adorable. You're winning all the points here, Miss Shimamura. And when it comes to Digimon, it's all about the bonds with your partner. I'm greatly looking forward to seeing how the queen-like Jellymon interacts with Kyoshiro and the others. And I hope you enjoy it too. That's adorable. Oh, she's winning. She's winning so much. So as you can see, like, the voice actors all seem to be very into it. They're really looking forward to it. And I hope the fan base is as well. I hope, again, one of my fear is that when Adventure ends in a couple of weeks, people are going to drop off, or people are going to look at Ghost Game like they did Applemon, which means not at all. I'm really hoping we don't see that. I really hope this is sort of a renaissance for the franchise, and that Toei and Bandai don't get scared to try new ideas again, because that would just be sad. So that's all we have really in terms of discussion for Ghost Game until it starts, unless some more news comes out, but that's kind of everything. Next, there is going to be a trailer released after this week's episode, so I will be doing a reaction to that. We'll cut to that now, and let me know what you... Well, we're not really cutting to it now if I'm talking about it, but you know what I mean. So we are going to cut to that now, but let me know what you thought of the character designs, the plot, the stuff we've talked about today, the trailer. Let me know what you thought about it all down in the comments below, and I will see you very soon for our reaction and watch along to Digimon Adventure 2020, episode 65, and we will of course be going through the final synopses for episodes 66 and 67. It sounds like a lot is going to happen. I wonder if 3 episodes is going to be enough. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. It is 1:30 in the morning. I have the Ghost Game trailer loaded up. It's in my YouTube subscriptions. I'm about to hit the play button. This will be my raw reaction to it. I may just bump up the elevator music in the background in case I decide to overlay the video. It'll just, you know, it's more of that fair usage reaction stuff. So, okay. So, here we go. It's going to be completely in Japanese. I don't know if there's going to be any subtitles. Where did I put my controller? Right, I've lost the controller already. How do you lose? Oh, wait, there it is. I couldn't see under the microphone. Anyway, here we go. So, I'm gonna open it up now. Okay, rewind. Is there a captions option? Japanese auto-generated? No. Okay. Okay. So. Okay, so there's no caption, so I'm just gonna go into it fresh. Let's cut to the chase. I'm excited for this, guys. Sorry for the dilly dallying, but I'm excited for this. So, 3, 2, 1. Hologram ghosts. Clocks are going crazy. Wikimon! Yeah, there he is. Oh my god, Gamamon is adorable. Whoa. That's creepy. Oh. Wow, okay, that 30 seconds was over in a flash. But that, like, when Clockmon is like taking the guy's life force and you see him turning old and, well, dying, jeez, like, that is creepy AF. Gamamon looks adorable though, so more of that, please. So I'm gonna watch it again. So we'll go again. So 3, 2, 1. So we've got text messages on screen and clocks are going crazy. Clockmon looks really intimidating. Gamamon! It's adorable. The 3D effects are good. We don't see the Digivice, so we don't actually see the Digivice V or the Vital Bracelet that they'll be using. So, that might be in the next trailer, but yeah, I'm so excited for this. I'm like, the thumbnail next to it is a thumbnail of Omegamon for Adventure 2020 episode 66, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Omegamon shows up, he gets his butt kicked, Omegamon Alter S saves the day. I got you. Cool, whatever. And that'll be episode 67. But we'll touch on that on the episode of the podcast dealing with episode 65, because we're going to go over the episode synopses for episodes 66 and 67 there. So now is not the time for that. This is about Ghost Game, and I'm excited for Ghost Game, and I hope you'll join me on that adventure as we review Ghost Game every week, right here on the Codecrown Podcast. That will do it for me. I gotta get this rendered up, and I'll push it out to the old YouTube. Let me know what you think down below, and I look forward to seeing you again. Like and subscribe. Maybe. Take care. At the very least, do take care. And stay hydrated. I worry about you. So drink your water, yeah?